Welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. Just a cool 10-minute drum solo on a Sunday here with really a beautiful cat from Rio Rico. Jorge Parker, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You know, I just wanted you to talk about how you've evolved over time to build up a groove, to play less busy on the kit and have more meaningful impact on the kit. What I'm saying is, like, the first 4 minutes, you were just taking a very slow, methodical approach to the groove. And so that is more of a seasoned technique as opposed to just showing off all your chops right away. You just went for 10 minutes, dude. So can you talk about how you've cultivated, like, making the notes count, quality over quantity, so to speak?
Yes, I guess part of it's a sustainability thing, especially in a solo like this. I feel like, you know, if I start off with all the chops at first, there's like really nowhere to go. I feel like, I guess I could go the chops first and then bring it back down and stuff. I just feel like over the years, it's just, I feel like the natural formulas usually kind of do build it up in general.
Is there like a specific example in your career where you kind of realize that sometimes less is more? Because then you know, you're not just letting it all out in the first. I mean, that was a groove that I'm going to have to go back and listen to a lot because it was deliberate. It wasn't rushed. So how did you, is there something in your career where somebody either told you, hey man, don't play so busy, don't feed me so much, or you just realized that you had the ability and the feel to play less is more?
I guess there was one person who told me. It was actually Doug Titeback. I went to TGI once, and
right, I remember that cat.
And at the time, I was just getting into jazz, mostly combo drumming, so they're kind of busier. It was my first time doing a more higher end big band, and I remember he was like, "You sound like a mattress falling down a flight of stairs."
Shoes in a dryer.
Yeah.
Or mattress
Exactly.
coming. That's crazy.
And at the time, I was like, wow, this guy's kind of fucked up. But then I kind of sat with it a little bit and kind of tried to put the ego aside a bit. And I was like, you know, he does kind of point. So I had to kind of educate myself and kind of more like, I don't know, it's kind of like that rhythm section kind of responsibility where the group comes first and then the interaction and you trying to show off your skills comes later onto it. I feel like
one of the it's not common knowledge, but people may not want to realize it, but the drummer is the leader of the band. Can you talk about how you like to how you're able to stop on a dime, dictate tempo, and like I said, you know, be a conversational piece? In today's a lot of modern music, the drums are just recorded so loud. They're so much louder than in those typical jazz settings that was recorded where it was just an accompanist instrument. But, you know, like, to me, I don't know, I would love you to talk a little bit about, in terms of your evolution, where you need to grow the most, where you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone the most.
Like out of my personal comfort zone, I was
like, is there something that you really are trying to work on and cultivate in your own, you know, sort of playing at this point?
Okay, I feel like dynamics are probably my more ongoing kind of pursuit. I would say I feel like I could kind of work on it throughout my whole life and could always get a little bit better.
Go deeper on the dynamics, though. I mean, in all types of genre, all types of music.
You know, honestly, yeah, I'd say so. Because even like if you have something like the Strokes or something more alternative, you know, you're still gonna probably want to bring it down on the verses, bring it up in the choruses, and your dynamics, your fills before transition are what's gonna indicate everyone. Because the band's not gonna be counting the whole time. So I feel like as a drummer, you cue them.
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. No dynamics, it kind of becomes noise.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and that's a big problem in music, where it's like, so how do you ear train yourself for that? It's hard to do that in isolation.
Yes, it is. A lot of listening, honestly. Like today before coming here, I listened to Brian Blade Fellowship. So
it's fucking next level shit.
Yes, exactly. But he's really good at his dynamics.
He is the standard bearer.
Yes, and you can kind of just see on stick height, like just on his dynamics and just orchestration on the drums. I think also helps out on that.
Jorge, You know, I remember talking to Reggie Workman, great bass player, played with Train and played with Roy Haynes and Dolphy, everybody. And he said the thing about drummers from a certain period in our history, jazz specifically, whether it was Max Roach or Tony Williams or, you know, Roy Haynes, rest in peace, they all had their own cymbal character. They all had their own definitive character on the cymbal.
Yes.
And I wanted you to talk about your concept, you know, where you're at in that evolution, because that is what allows you to cut above the morass of every other drummer. You know, because Reggie would say he would go see a 45-minute set of jazz from my contemporaries and your contemporaries, and it's very proficient and burning, but the drummers never touched the cymbals. And so it was revelatory to me that all those guys had their own cymbal character on the cymbal. And I wanted you to talk about that because you were all over the place on those cymbals.
Yeah, so I just feel like they had so much like more texture, because I feel like at first I was more rock heavy at the time. I was like, I want another snare drum, I want another tom. And I started watching these other cats, and they would even take off the rack tom, and put another cymbal on there. And I was like, why? And then I was just like, kind of had an epiphany almost to an extent where it's like just textures, different textures. You bring them. I remember this one guy was like, oh, when I go to my solo, you should switch to the lighter ride, just for you. The dynamics along with the ride switch up will change up. And that really stuck with me, kind of just changing the textures depending on the format of the song.
I dig. You know, I have 4 L's on my program. I wanted to go through them with you. One is lineage. Lineage, if you can trace the influences that you've had, what is the lineage of Jorge Parker's playing?
Ooh, okay. Like on cats I listen to, or family?
I'm saying, how far back in the musical lexicon do you go? Would you say your influences stretch?
Okay. Well, it started off primarily pretty.
And if you're not going back to Sid Catlett of the 1930s, that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I'm just curious about those influences and where the inception point was,
Okay.
lineage wise.
I see. So I started off listening to mostly like pop punk in high school. You know, Blink-182, Travis Barker, very fast, very fast playing, stuff like that. So definitely kind of built some.
Not a lot of dynamics either.
Not a lot of dynamics at that point, but really built up my speed, I guess, for my right hand, which ended up helping. Along the line, when I was doing high school, I was listening to a lot of Ollie Jackson.
Yeah.
Drummer for the
Oh my God.
Lincoln Center. And I really like how he wasn't all over the place.
Dude, I saw him at Jazz Fest in New York, man. That dude and he was doing it, he was just being himself.
He's killing.
I love that you just brought up his name, dude.
Yeah.
So talk about what got you off about him.
So he had a really nice drive on the ride. Number one, always kept up pulse, even if you kind of like swapped to like a weird like straight fill or triple fill depending on the song. He was always able to bring it back in.
Yeah.
Obviously able to find that one if you would go a little.
That's right. You always keep the form of the tune, even if you go out a little bit.
Exactly.
That's the gift right there.
Mm-hmm. And he really knows when to add those accents in and kind of that splash of energy.
Right. I'm trying to think. It was Jazz Lincoln Center. That's his, because I thought he played with another couple heavy cats too.
He might. I'm not sure about currently, but back when I was listening to him,
I saw him with Aaron Goldberg, sick piano player.
Yeah, I'm sure he's all over the place.
So then from there, after that...
So after that, I started listening to some more busier players, I would say, because at the time I was like, okay, I'm getting better at grooving, following along. I was like, I want to solo a little bit. So I started listening to Eric Carlin, Ari Hoenig, and like Larnell Lewis, cats like that. It kind of just like...
What's Harlan's solos like? I'm curious. That dude is, he's coming here for the Jazz Fest.
Is he?
With Charles Lloyd, yeah.
I will be here then.
Yeah, you talk a little, because to me, again, it's not, some people would say, I don't need solos as a drummer. I'm playing all the time anyway.
Mm-hmm, yes.
But there is something to be said about having something a beginning, a middle, and an end, cogently. I don't care if it's a minute long. Mm-hmm. Have you been able to where are you at in terms of the conversational piece of the solo?
The solo, I think of it, there's no notes to say extent, but there's tonal pitches you can mess around with. which I really like, which Ari Honig does really well.
Sick drummer, yeah.
He's really good. I actually have a book on him, on limb independence, which is also another hard thing. But I kind of I like to tell a story to an extent. Not necessarily like, it's not going to be the same as something with lyrics or something to say, but more of an emotional fluctuation, I would say. Whether it's I'm a little restless that day, it's a little bit busier, or it kind of just depends on my mood. But I do try to fluctuate the energy throughout the solo, just to keep people engaged and even keep myself engaged, I'd say.
The second L is leadership. And what I mean by that is, what do you believe, even though you're not a band leader at this point, but in terms of the people that you've worked under, what are some of the most important qualities of leadership on the bandstand?
So
I guess ultimately, when you're teaching your students, how do you inspire them to get the most out of them?
I think it's different on every case.
I know it's hard.
It's hard and it's different for every other case, but I feel like it's trying to, as a leader, I feel like you got to be confident, number one. Got to take more responsibilities, naturally, depending on the project. But I think it's also, because I actually started my own group recently.
You did?
I'm the lead on that. It doesn't have a name yet, but it's kind of like the
No Name Band.
Yeah. It's a psychedelic Latin jazz kind of fusion.
Oh my God, dude, let's get that going, dude.
Yes. I'll let you know when that gets up and running. I was reading Hard Bop, the book from Art Blakey. It was like all his players talking about it and stuff. Kind of used that for inspiration when I started the project.
Let me ask you a question. In terms of your own group, part of the leadership thing that gets lost sometimes, if you're not confident or secure, is that you're bringing people in and then you're telling them how to play, as opposed to bringing people in to do what they do.
Yes, it's hard. I try to let them I have like a main vision, but after that, I have good players, so I kind of just let them pop off a little bit. Right. I'm not too strict. One of them's Grant Bloom from Bloomstone.
Dude, Grant Bloom, I cannot believe, dude, he is my cosmic brother. I met him at Wooden Tooth.
Yeah.
Records before COVID, when he was living in Boston and visiting his girl, now his wife, down here.
Yes.
And then he came to the studio when I was in the studio. We did an interview. We are just like, so I can't believe it.
Yeah, he's amazing. So obviously with him, I kind of try to give him like a picture. Like when I set up the first practice / kind of discussion, I sent him like a bunch of example songs. I'm like, this is what I kind of want.
Just contour it and a sketch, yeah.
Basically, yeah. And then from over there, we jam an idea for like 30 minutes, and then I go home and I kind of listen to it multiple times, and I'll just be like, this would be a good A section. This would be a good B section. So that's like my leadership role is kind of organizing the mess we make from all the creative ideas. I feel like that's been working pretty good.
Who else is in the group?
Fabian Rios. He used to play with me in a couple bands.
Oh my God, yeah. I've been trying to get a hold of that cat,
Yeah, I think I had a conversation about him the other day. He's doing, I think, sound and booking union at the moment.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, Fabian Rios, badass.
They have Sammy Bengomo too. He was also the lead guitarist for Los Velvet, so he's in there too. He has a lot of the psychedelic.
Maybe some percussion too. I mean, a percussionist too is also getting that polyrhythms going is huge. Mm-hmm. Although sometimes it's hard, to get it. You want to be able to get paid for the gig. Too many cats on there's no money.
Yeah, and I feel like right now, I feel like the group's a decent spot because I feel with less people, there's more interaction amongst the members. So I do like the kind of smaller group size.
I dig. Can you talk? Life is the third L, and what I mean by life is overcoming adversity. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted you to talk about a time in your life when you were really fighting adversity and ultimately how you overcame it and how it made you a stronger person.
Let's see. It's a loaded one.
You can take a pass on that if you want.
No, that's okay. Yeah. I guess there's growing up, I lived in Mexico. I was born in Guaymas, or San Carlos, I should say.
Wow.
So I came over here. I came here initially without any papers. So I didn't get my papers till like 2014. So
timing is everything in life, my friend.
Yes, so definitely a little bit of tension. Kind of a lot of moving houses growing up. So no real
stability. Yeah.
No real stability in that sense. So that was hard. And obviously, trying to be a musician in a household that doesn't have a lot of money is a tough one too.
How did you when you were frustrated? Did you have a mantra? Did you have some sort of connection to God consciousness? Because that, to me, that is where I would unravel. And
yes.
part of that is just not being disciplined. So how did you stay grounded, knowing that you were on the move, didn't have a lot of resources, and still only knew how to play music?
So, when I started playing music, because I was having those problems before I started playing music, and then before I started playing, it was kind of unchecked mayhem on the mental health aspect, I would say.
Wow.
And honestly, I feel like I haven't even worked on. I started working on mental health like 3 years ago, as of like that late. But I feel like it's been a good journey.
It's absolutely essential.
Yes.
I was walking by Hotel Congress Plaza stage, and there were some hip hop artists last night talking about the same thing. And with creatives especially, mental health is essential. And if you ignore it, it can get really intense.
Yeah, it's tough. I've had mental health days where it's like, all right, I need to play, and it's like I don't have any inspiration on the kid to play and stuff. So that's a different thing. I feel like kind of just taking a breather helps out, kind of just letting go. And
you have to walk away, but you have to let go.
Yeah, just being present, I feel like it's been my biggest, coping mechanism. Like, it's, for a lack of better words.
I dig.
But
I'm going to save you the last L and just allow you to take it out or to express it on the drum kit. Okay. It's love, and rhythm is love. So do you want to finish with a little solo?
Yeah, I'll finish with a solo. Let me fix that right.
Yeah, sure. It's an honor, Jorge.
Likewise.
Yeah, man. Jorge Parker, thanks for being part of the program, man.
Thank you for having me.
This is the Jake Feinberg Show. See you later.